Hey, it's Jay Chatfield. I finished eating my dinner, and again, we're just knocking out some videos, and I actually changed the background so I could identify the videos. But I want to talk about creativity. Woo! Jay Chatfield, loving yourself to life. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Fit Homie Mom on Instagram, and this is the most important thing. I'll probably do a few videos on this because honestly, I this is me. When I look at my charts and stuff like that, and if you know, you know, I am a master creator, and we talked about that before on this channel. Um, and I just love to create. At one point, and my podcast audience know this. I loving yourself to life. I've had for 3 years. So they've been with me a long, long time, long time. So they know how I got to this point. And it was because I gave my life up to someone else's ideas of what I should be. And I wasn't living the way that I was made to live. And that is a master creator. A lot of people ask me, what is it that you can't do? Well, one, um, I can't fail myself. That's one of the things. I don't call it that because I'm always working on me, and as long as I'm working on me, I will never fail myself. Now, the day that I stop working on me, the day that I do that, I'm still not failing. I just need something to get me back on that point because sometimes that's just the road you need to go. And that road of where I was I stopped creating because I was told that I needed to focus on my children for the next 18 years. At the time, I had a 9 month old and a 3 year old. 18 years. I hadn't even had the third one yet. 18 years I'm supposed to put my creativity on hold. And you know why? It's because we went around to all these other groups and these women were like, oh my gosh, I'm here for my children. Did I get really low? And I am just going to do everything that I can to make sure that they succeed. What does that? Okay. I don't know how that felt to anybody else with me saying that, but that sounded like you're not doing what you need to do for yourself in order to be happy, healthy, wealthy in your mindset. And pretty much it was that way when I look back on all the groups that women group that we were in. I can't talk about anybody else, but I was dying. I was dying inside. So when I went through this whole process of loving myself to life, I found that I am super creative and I have to have an outlet of my creativity. It is great that I homeschool because I can homeschool in a creative way. But at first, I didn't think like that. I thought like school thought it's got to happen. And I don't like rules, by the way. My husband's very disciplined, but I hate rules. And I hate rules because I don't want anybody to control me. And I have 5 in my chart. So I don't want anybody to control me. My daughter's a 5, 5, 5. She is a 5, 5, 5. She don't want anybody to tell her what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. She wants to do it herself. Super creative. So I got a lot of me in her. So I just don't like rules because rules are made to control. Now there are some things that you need to, but most of the stuff is meant to control you, not to let you grow free and have creative confidence in yourself. So it is my mission, one of them, is to let you know that it is okay for you to be your authentic creative self. We just wasn't taught that growing up. We were taught that you had to go to school and stuff like that and then get a good job that's going to take care of you. And y'all know the story, but there are some of us who was like, I'm gonna do it my way, but we just didn't know how. It's like a lot of us have a lot of ideas, but we just don't know how. The thing that I can tell you, the thing that I can tell you the most about that is that you follow your creativity. I never thought that I would be doing videos, just little old videos about this, and then people calling me and asking for consultations because they just want to talk about it And then of course I told you I'm a master thinker. And I'm also a channeler, clairaudient, those types of things like that. So I really do help people, and I really do push for creativity. But one thing about creativity is that you're going to have to empty yourself of the things that you thought you knew or that you thought was right for you. When you start to trust your creativity, you're going to have to empty it out. You're going to have to get to a place where you start to trust you again. I started that by coloring. I put my little coloring, I put the coloring sheets up, and I did them with gel pens, and then I have one that I did with the paintbrush marker, and I just colored. I order coloring books all the time. Like I don't have them here, but when they come in the mail, my husband's like, "Your kids ordering?" No, 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 no. Those are those are mine. Thank you. And then I always have like all these multiple pens and color things because I like stuff in color. I don't like not a black and white person. Um, there's gray all up and down, all up everywhere. So when I started doing that, I also started getting into my mind and started getting into me. The first step is for you to do something that only you will love. I say that is because that's where I started, right? But I just didn't have a boundary to it. So I was doing everything. When I found out, it made me happy. Like I was an addict to my creativity. Now, I worked on myself and my children were smaller, and I continued to work on myself until my creativity started to trust me. You have to treat it like a relationship. It is something that you naturally have, but you've also suppressed it with whatever was fed to you throughout your life. You have to learn how to trust each other again. You came here with it. But when you were a child, there's like you start to see the things that children do. That's why I don't argue with my children when it comes to creativity. I don't argue with them. So when you start building that relationship, it becomes stronger and stronger, right? So my first thing that I love to do was write. So I wrote my first book back in 2019. I wrote it in like 30 days, and that was when I was standing on my crossing guard job. Go and look back in the videos when I was doing crossing guard, and it told me you're gonna have to write this in order to free yourself. So back in 2012, I wrote a script that I sent in for a competition. I went to screenwriting classes and everything, and the script was it was rejected. I was so sad. I was so sad. I stopped writing for 7 years because I was so like nobody likes my. You know how we get in our. My aunt said you get in your pissy draws and you just stay there. I was real pissy. I stopped writing for 7 years. This was my first book. Jay Chatfield, The Woman That Is Made, a book with no chapter, a life with many, because we're all there. So I wrote that in 30 days, and then after that, um, I had to start writing blogs. So I always was a ghostwriter. I used to write devotional for famous people. I have an NDA. I still don't tell people who I wrote for. But I used to write devotionals, but I never would write for myself because I thought too much about grammar. Honestly, forget if you want to write a book, and I'm going to do that because I do run a workshop about that. You need to forget everything you learned and you need to go back to trusting you. So after that, I started writing books all the time. Like I can write a book a week, or I could do most of these are like books that you write in because that's just me. I like to write in my stuff. I know you can't see that. That was like a poor way of showing you. But most of them are just things that make you think. But I really do like creative flow because It's a workshop. It's a book that in a workshop that I do. And it says it right there, to create a workshop workbook to inspire creative confidence. All my books are on Amazon, Grace Guidance Production. Y'all saw that shirt? I just love it. And then Jay Chatfield, if you want to look at me up. And I may put it down there. But like I said, I wrote these books because it's my creative outlet. Now, some people ask me, how do you do it? And then I also have other companies that I'm building. And I teach dance, or um, I teach fitness classes, and I homeschool, and I support my husband in the real estate business. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot that that I do, but the thing is that keeps me going is my creativity. Um is me trusting that I can do whatever I want to do and it be great with me. I don't write books. That's why I have 12 books on Amazon that nobody know about. I put them on Amazon just in case somebody want them. Because and then I keep copies here, but most of the time, you don't want to be bothered with shipping. I do it because I love it. I do it because I absolutely love it. It's like an adrenaline rush for when I come up with the idea. Guys, I have like 16 books in my head, series and everything. Well, outline written out. When it's that time to do it, there is a appointed time for everything. Because when I write, I write. Like when I color for days. And when I write, I'll pump out 5 books. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes. And one of the reasons why we created another reason why we created Story Being Giant is so that some of those stories can get out in storytelling form with the voice of my children. Because I was like, I could write a book, but it's fun to listen to it, and also to get them into reading and creating, which is my second point. One of the other questions that I get from moms, the first one is, how do you do it all? And it just happens at different times. I just follow what I'm feeling. Like I said, if it's I color for days. If it's writing a book, if it's recording, like we have stories that we've recorded and it's set up to release because it's just when the time comes. That's why it's good for you to trust the season and the time that you're in, because then you can set yourself up to be in alignment to what's coming to you. Okay? So the second question that I get asked is, how do you let your children do what they want? Listen to me closely. If you are not creatively free, it will be very hard, and you can do it. It would be very hard for you to let your children be creatively free. My main goal in a lot of everything that I do is to foster creative confidence at home. I know y'all hear them. They on the other side of the wall. I'm about to scream at them. But creative confidence built at home. So when they go out in the world, they will already have that relationship with their creativity. They don't have to have a family and then, you know what, I'm going to start this business. And then now the whole family struggling. I'm just saying, those are the things, like people are scared to do stuff as an adult because of what it'll take to get back into their creative mind, their creative bag. So if you do that at home, you don't have to worry about that as an adult. Your creativity will make room for you. It tells you that in the Bible. I put creativity. The Bible says gifts. Same thing. If you start and you keep that relationship, you're gonna always have confidence in what you can do. You're not starting a business. You can start a business at 35, but guess what? All 5 of my other businesses are thriving, so I can do that. I'm not trying to break out of a 9 to 5 or anything like that. I've been very fortunate to be able to be home with my children. And like I say, I tell my husband all the time, you are amazing to carry the family the way you do and invest in real estate as we go. Like, you're a rock star, dude. I always tell him that. And it was always so that we could have one parent at home. We've achieved the goal. Again, we'll talk about that in priority. as a homeschool parent. So if you foster your own creativity, if you have your creative outlet, you are not here to suffer through parenthood. I don't care what it is. You're not here to suffer through it and then when they get out, let me see what I can do for myself. No, you love yourself to life and doing what you, and then it works. If you have children, it's going to work along. I have creative children. My oldest daughter animates and she goes to film camp. She wrote and directed the movie that they did for the week. Where does that come from? Right? So it's easy for me to support her because I support myself. My son, everybody says their child wants to create a video game, right? Where to start? One, let me tell you something. This is the one that they said was never going to listen and he is going to have trouble. He wants to create a game that as you go, like it teaches you how to count, but it gives you like fruits and vegetables or something like that. It's really cool. I haven't really got it because he hasn't really got it, but he's been working on it. He sat down. My husband was like, we're gonna have to work with him on his math if he wants to do this, if he wants to code. He sat down and did it by himself. And he's like, Mom, Dad, come over here and look. His little voice getting deep. Like he about to be 11. Lord, it scares me. I'm like, woo, you know. He's like, Mom and Dad, come over here. Let me look. And he's 5'3". Yeah, y'all already know I'm raising a baby Viking. So he sat down and he figured it out. See, that's his mind. That's his mind. And then my 8-year-old will play the game and he'll tell him about it. That's his gift. You see what I'm saying? So, and then also my husband was a front end UI designer, but he also won a national championship, a national contest for creating a game when he was in college. That's why it's so easy for us to say, if this is what you want to do, the only thing we require is that when you start it, you take your time and finish it and get the outcome. That's why we made my daughter go back to film camp. The first time she wrote and directed, the second time she was in a supporting role, which also taught her everything about doing a film. She's probably going to go again and probably act. She didn't do that. That's not something she's into. But again, I'm all about growth. I'm all about growth. And you need to try it one time, and we don't tell them what it just falls like that. But you develop your creative instinct by following what you hear. Do what you love to do. It will never fail you. See what in the workshop, and I'm going to give you a little piece of it. We have steps. The third step, but people always put this step first is I want to make money. So what's your goal? Is creating your goal or is making money your goal? This is why I'm saying I don't want my children to fall into that trap of I want to make money, so now I need to, and you're chasing it. No, we're not paper chasers. We do it the way May said. I don't chase money, man. Money chase me. How is money chasing him? How is it doing that? Or whatever your abundance, why is it chasing him? Because he's about his father's business. And when I say that, that is your God-given talent. That's your father's business. He gave you the desire for people who believe in that. If you have the desire, that is for you. That's why it's chasing you, because you're happy. You're happy. And if you're happy, it's going to attract, it's going to come to you. Sometimes it depends on how big your impact is going to be. Let me tell you, you guys are following me on this journey and I'm sowing these seeds into what I love. You guys are going to see the impact come out in my life. It may take longer. Some people have an instant like, woo, here go the money. You got to get it down. Some people have to work just a little bit longer because their impact is going to be greater. And it's okay. That's why you ain't supposed to look at anybody else. You're supposed to be creating. This ain't it. I have other ones. This is, like I said, I have 11, 12 books on Amazon that I wrote in the span of like 2 months. And I have books for download on Etsy because I love to do it. And I know I keep saying it, but I want you to know, don't beat yourself up. You're enough. I say that all the time. You're enough for you. You just have to build that relationship so that it can flow to you. And most of the time you hear what it's saying, but you're doing what that ego tells you to do. That economically, it's just economically better for me to stay on this job. I hear it all the time. I be talking to people in the grocery store. The cashiers know me because I'm like, how are you today? Oh, I want to get off this job. But what is it that you really want to do? I really like making candied apples. I really like working with the elderly, but it don't pay that much. I can't pay my bills. I really want to be home with my children. You know, I really want to teach. I'm just here. If you watching the clock, I'm sorry to tell you, that ain't for you. You already knew that. I love creativity so much that when I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is, well, there's a lot of things that I do when I wake up in the morning, but one of the things that I do is, what can I do for me today? Because when I do it, like I said, I'm happy. I'm on a different wavelength. Woo! You know? So, this is Jay Chatfield, loving yourself to life. As always, do something for you that only you will love. It'll put you in a great vibration. Have a love yourself day.